All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Makakadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashim, and the name of Mashiach Kabashai. Those are their true names in ancient Pelican Hebrew, the Bashmakadash in town. And I say Barakabam to the elders and apostles, Barakim, Ma'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates as of July 26, 2025 on this Saturday night. Saturday afternoon, Slovakia. And this is a news article from the crypto.com as of July 26, 2025. This is published by Andrea Bengansky. And it reads, it says, Wyoming stablecoin bill as a yield-bearing alternative to CBC control. The Wyoming stablecoin is expected to debut next month, putting a public funding twist on the stablecoin sector. It says Wyoming isn't far from become the first U.S. state to issue its stablecoin. Its own stablecoin, moving closer to potential showdown with Washington on how its dollar-peg token should comply with certain restrictions signed into law last week after passing a Genius Act. The Cowboy State, which is a historically suspicious of the federal government, could push back against a question to seize or freeze funds on chain equal close to the instructions. The Wyoming stable token WYST to the crypto speaking as individuals. The landmark bill requires financial institutions to issue stablecoin with procedures to block, freeze, and reject specific impermissible transactions. But as a state-issued token, that they say some rules may not apply to WYST, including the restrictions are offered as a yield. We are confident that we have issued a yield on our stable token. Wyoming Democratic State Senator Chris Wolf-Fluss, who chairs the State of Committee on Blockchain and Financial and Digital Innovations Technology, told the crypto we haven't necessarily decided that we enable the WYST field yield, but there's a lot of favorable tools that this feature won't enable when the WIST debuts later this year. It is being implemented, Crawford says, noting that there are still logistical questions that lawmakers are working through. The project's main goal to use funds generated to fund Wyoming school system. Rothfuss said that the Wyoming lawmakers are considering other elements to the Genius Act, a comprehensive framework for regulating stablecoins that expected to unlock an additional participation competition with 280 billion industries dominated by the circle into their bill. Although the bill has been portrayed by some speculators as a step improvement for crypto industry's legitimacy, some lawmakers feel that the legislation could ultimately rob Americans' financial sovereignty, including Majority Taylor Greene, a Republican of Georgia. This bill regulates stablecoin and rules for the backdoor centralized digital bank currency. She said on X last week, this will open the door to move on to a cashless society, into a digital currency that can be weaponized against you by an authoritarian government. Right. So even if they do sign an anti-central digital currency law, since they signed the stablecoin bill and the cryptocurrency bill, that's gonna be security awareness as well too. That's gonna because they're gonna still have ways to control and to control and monitor your digital money as well too. Digital banking. With the digital money. Yep, it says this bill regulates a stablecoin that provides for backdoor centralized bank digital currency, says X. She said on X last week, this will open the door to a cashless society. Yeah, this will open the door to a cashless society. Especially with the signing of the Genius Act that's used with the big billion in cryptocurrency stablecoin, that's still going to lead to cashless society, because that's going to transform into crypto coins. But you're going to you're going to be able to go to a kiosk that you convert your money to digital coins, and that's going to use digital currency, and that's going to implement this RFID of the M.O.T.B in order for your buyer sales worth. This will open the door to move to a cashless society, even with digital currencies that can be weaponized against you and a rotating government. The CDC has centralized digital versions of the flat money, although are similar to the stablecoins. They are not issued by private companies or public networks, prompting concerns among some lawmakers, including House Majority Tom Emmer, Republican of Minnesota. In March, Emmer told the crypto that the Wyoming state token amount up to a state-backed CDC. And the Apollo executive director of the Wyoming State Coin Commission responds by saying that the WYST is a entirely different type of product. He noted that in the example, that the WYST is backed by the U.S. Treasury, while a government could make a central digital currency out of thin air. A recent interview by the Crypto Apollo said that the commission has said that the concerns that issuer will have about the potential different use in spring to on-board blockchain analytics forms of chain analytics to monitor the legacy activity along open source surveillance for addition. Still, Wyoming Select Committee on Blockchain in a letter earlier this month, said that the commissions must resist pressure to act a political or financial gatekeeper, considering heightened standards imposed by the United States and Wyoming constitutions. Apollo underscores the Commission's obligation to uphold constitutional protections in the business driver for WIST compares to hundreds of other stablecoins. We have a big delta for incumbents who could just change their policies and said we can freeze your assets if we were trying to buy firearms. He said we had to freeze and seize capacities, but we can't activate those capacities unless we have a valid court order. This summit was echoed by Ruff, who noted that Wyoming's ability to navigate federal requests in a administrative way that has been viewed by the state public as a positive. We are not faced with the same obligation to comply with federal requests that a corporation will be faced. He said we have a sovereignty, so when the government is in opposition, they can just send a cease letter to start a rescue. The U.S. President Donald Trump scored the notions of a digital dollar for the campaign trail, signing an executive order earlier this year prohibiting federal agencies from working on the central digital currency that was, despite repeatedly affirms from the Federal Reserve Chair Jeremy Powell that the U.S. Central Bank is an interest in issuing in everyday payments. Right, so Bitcoin and stablecoin is going to come into play. That's still going to show forth digital currency. Because stablecoin is basically like an alternative to central digital currency. So they just made an alternative in an alternative way. But that's still going to usher in, digital banking, digital currency, digital money, global coins, digital coins. That you're going to convert your money into digital coins and digital currencies. We're able to have digital banking. So since they signed this stable coin and this Bitcoin, that's still going to have surveillance toward your banking information, which is going to be digital banking. So despite the fact they signed that anti-social digital currency law, you're still going to have cryptocurrency and stable coin, which is going to be transformed to digital money. In digital banking, they still have ways to access your financial information, monitor your banking account, your digital account. It says, as a presidential hopeful Florida government DeSantis and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, also railed against the potential dangers of the centralized currency. Well, it's going to be dangerous of cryptocurrency and stablecoins as well too, because that's just alternatives to centralized currency. It says DeSantis specifically highlighted consumer goods like red meat or gasoline. And it says historically the Cowboy State has a complex relationship with Washington, given that the federal government owns 48% of the state's surface land that it has, lead to conflicts over resources of what some Wyomingans describe as a tall fence. The WIST is currently undergoing a block program, but the token is expected to debut in August, and Wyoming blockchain symposium, if I pronounce that right, on at least one network. Currently, candidates including H1, Solana, and Avalanche, among other networks. It says that Wyoming is currently testing the WIST abilities to facilitate a real-time payment government contracts and use a Avalanche-based protocol developed by blockchain startup Hashfire CEO John Becklisky, who will serve as a subject matter advisor to the commission, told the Decrypt, if I pronounce that right, that the other states may eventually join Wyoming, but this philosophy cannot be copied. Wyoming is a constitution-loved and legal and unopinionated state, he added. He said other states can launch their own tokens, but are they going to cooperate with overreacting federal agencies? Only time to tell. Yep, it says Europe embraced digital currency, not the United States. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and it calls all their small and great, rich or poor, free or bond, to receive a karagma in their right hand and their FREHES. So now that we got this genius back, now we got this Genius Act was signed into law from the Trump administration. Now you have this Bitcoin cryptocurrency, which is going to be the new digital currency, despite the fact they signed an anti-centralized currency bill. But stablecoin of Bitcoin is going to be the new alternative to digital currency. That's why we're going to see the digital banking, digital money that's going to implement this technology device that they want to implement inside your body. That's going to be part of the digital banking, the digital currency and this digital device of this karagma that they're going to implant inside your body in order for you to buy or sell. Now, of course, you're going to have in these different states, like Republican states and Democratic states, they're going to be in competition with one another because some are going to still try to push forth the centralized currency, despite the fact that Republicans signed the anti-centralized digital currency bill. You're going to have others from these Democratic states going to push forth, the digital currency. Because they're going to push the digital currency, they're going to push the stablecoin, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency all in together. While you have the while you have the Republicans opposing, the central digital currency. And you're going to have some states And just like that news article I read from Wyoming, they definitely going to have some competition with one another. So it's going to be the division between that. Like it says, what's that? St. Mark the third chapter. And if a kingdom be divided itself, the kingdom not stand. So you're going to have these economical trade wars and be within these states, within these states in the United States and around the world, among the nations, amongst the kingdoms as well too. But at the end of the day, it's gonna integrate and have a fully adoption of the M.O.T.B, which is this digital dollar, digital ID, digital wallet, digital currency, digital assets, virtual money, digital tokens, digital coins, because the paper dollar is going to be a thing of the past. Despite the fact that they're trying to keep their paper dollar in their country, but it's going to be a cashless society. As I was reading that news article, saying, one of the representatives, representatives of the Republican of Georgia, she was making a statement that we're about to enter a full cashless society, and America is about to enter it as well too. Despite the fact they're trying to keep their American dollar, so they can include it right along with the Genius Act, with this digital banking, with the stable coin cryptocurrency, which they've been signed into law, because we're about to enter a further more and more cashless society here in the United States. You're going to see that around the world as well too, and that's going to implement this technology device, because all your personal information, your digital dollar, digital ID, digital wallet, digital currency, everything that you have, your financial banking, your finance, your personal information, your medical information, all that's going to be come all together. That they're going to store this in this technology device that they want to implant inside your body in order for you to buy or sell. I just want to add a stab into that as well too. This is the book of Revelations 13, verse 15. It says, "He had power, right, the son of perdition, the wicked one, the man of sin, man of lawlessness." That's why he's going to come down with great wrath, because he have a short time to rule. That's why they're pushing this, They pushing this AI technology that's going to be part of finance. They're going to have this 15-minute cities, this nanotechnology. And this artificial intelligence that's going to be part of finance as well too. It says, "He had power to give life unto the image of the BAST," like this new financial system, "that the image of the BAST both shall speak and cause, as many will not worship the image of the BAST shall be KILLED." Right, we're about to enter into that as well too. And that's when that Revelation 3 verse 10 comes into play, the representation. Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, "And it calls it all, both small and great, rich or poor, free or bond, to receive a Karagma," right, that Karagma, in their right hand, or in their FOREHEDS. Right, so the technology that they want to implant inside of your body in order for you to buy or sell. Say, like, for an example, you try to go to the grocery store and you try to buy something. So in order to complete that transactions, because you have your groceries or the items that you're trying to get, at your local grocery store that you go on an everyday basis here and there, So the items that you have on the counter, you're going to try to buy and purchase them, because they're going to ask you a question at the counter. Do you have your technology? Do you have your technology Karagma in your upper part of your body, the right part of your body? And if you do, you use that to scan your right hand or your upper part of your body to buy or sell, because you have that beeping noise like ding, ding, to scan your right hand or to scan your upper part of your body. But this is what we're about to enter into, which is a cashless society in a pushing of this M.O.T.B. So the M.O.T.B is already here. They just wait for it to make a green light in order for you to make it mandatory, in order for you to function in today's society, in order for you to buy and sell. Revelations 13 verse 16, "And it calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a Karagma in their right hand or in their FOREHEDS." Right, because this is going to be implemented throughout the whole planet Earth. They're going to make it mandatory. So the M.O.T.B is already here. So in order for you to buy and sell, you got to have that Karagma that they want to implant inside of your body. Revelations 13 verse 17, "And that no man might buy or sell." Right, it's going to be a time where that no man might buy or sell unless you got that Karagma that they want to insert and implant in your body. "That no man might buy or sell, say that he had the Karagma or the name of the BAST or the his name." Revelations 13 verse 18, hear his wisdom, let him have understanding. Count the number of the BAST, for is the number of men, and his number is SIX, 300 SIX. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying of this recent M.O.T.B news updates as of July the 26th, 2025 on this Saturday afternoon. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son Ba'ashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those in that true names in the ancient Hebrew, the last Makadash of the tongue. And I say, Barak Bam to the elders and apostles, while I can rock off until next time. I will say, Shalom.